Good morning, mi gente. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Apron. I'm your host, Cassie.
And I'm Manny.
And babe, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
You guys, this is our first Monday episode, and I'm kind of excited for it. I think it's going to be good that we get to start the Monday or get to start the week with you guys and hopefully make your Monday a little less dreadful.
Yeah, definitely. It's like more beneficial to you. It gives you more time to prepare and fun behind the scenes stuff that we don't get to see.
Yeah, so we hope you guys have a great start to your week and a great rest of your week. Today we have a very good episode lined up for you guys. My friend Jessica is joining us again. We're interviewing a very good friend of ours who we've known for over 10 years at this point. And so this episode specifically is for our chili heads. And so if you've ever worked at Chili's, then you'll kind of relate a little bit. And if you know us, then this is definitely an episode for you. We hope you guys enjoy it. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun. These people, I haven't met officially, but they sound like they're really nice people.
Yeah, so we hope you guys enjoy.
I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Did I tell you how I quit?
I think you walked out.
No, I just didn't show up. And then I texted Mark and I was like, I can't do this. And then
I think I was there that day that you didn't come in.
I think we were all there.
yeah,
Right? When
think-
were we not?
I think we all talk shit like fucking Mauer. Like I said in your previous podcast, I think like that place did work us to death. It was a mine, bro. Like you were literally there. Like you clocked in. That was our own little town. Like we had our world. Everybody
Yeah.
revolved around each other. You know, like our friendships, the way that everybody would party together. You know, like everybody was a family.
Dead ass.
Yeah. Damn.
God, well, welcome to the podcast, guys.
Yeah, I know, right? Way to start it off, Mauer.
Sorry.
So today we are back in the studio with a returning friend, Jessica, and then a new friend, colleague of ours who worked with us at Cheddar's. No, not at Cheddar's. At Chili's, Norby.
Yay.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Hey, guys.
The little monkey.
Okay, so Norby, Jessica, we already got into you a little bit last time, but Norby, give us a little backstory about you. What got you into the food industry, like your first job? I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier. You were at HEB.
So, money. I think
Yeah.
that's everybody's reason for working, right? Like I used to run track and I loved sports, but the moment I tasted money because of DECA, like you know that program that would let you get out early.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
Mhm.
moment I tasted money, I couldn't have enough of it, you know?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I would like work, you know, like I guess that in to go, like, you know, they were paying us like $10 back then.
What?
And
That's
it was a
your
lot.
tip.
Yeah, it was a lot for me
Yeah.
to pass. And then I
Yeah.
became a cook and I was making $13.25 an hour, you know, and
Mhm.
everybody was making like $5.25, $7.25 an Eagle Pass back then.
Yeah. Because I was.
So, because I was banking, you know, like, so it was a lot of it was because of that. A lot of it was the reason why I stayed in the field was because I loved the money, and I think I love people too. Like I loved the feeling of the being in the weeds, you know, like making the food and running around and
Yeah.
chaos, and it just blended with my personality.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it can be an addicting feeling being in the weeds.
I think it's super addicting. I think it really consumes you. I think and then after you live it for so long, it just becomes a way of life.
It's like a nicotine hit, like of a cigarette, like whenever you fucking take
Yeah.
a hit. And then like it's the adrenaline that keeps you
Yeah,
going.
and then when you don't have it, like when you have like an off day, like it's like slow, you're like, what the fuck's going on? Like where's everybody at?
Yes. Oh my
real.
gosh, I know exactly what you're saying. Like on the slow
Yeah.
days, like, oh dude, I used to hate
You're
working.
miserable.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much that was like I guess the reason why I stayed in the food world was because of the money, and you saw somebody new every day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it wasn't the same face. Yeah, you had your regulars or whatever, but it was just an ongoing door, a revolving door of just different customers, and you had different experiences with everybody, you know?
Yeah.
And I think for us, like being in a small town like Eagle Pass, at the time, well, now you have Texas Roadhouse, but back then you didn't have another like chain restaurant because Applebee's had closed down.
Yeah, we shut them down pretty much. I mean, they shut themselves
Chili's was
down.
always bumping. No, dead ass.
And I mean, we had. I think you know we had it going though. Like Chili's and Eagle Pass had it all. Like we had cold beer, we had beautiful people, you know, like good service. The food was out quick back then.
Yeah.
We
You know,
did
I
work with
think-
a lot of attractive people.
I think in general, I mean, our bartenders, our hosts, our servers. I mean, a few of
Mm-hmm.
us were ugly, like I can speak for myself, but the
Yeah.
majority of the majority of our staff was good looking, I think everybody
No, yeah,
was.
we were.
I'm kidding, Norby.
Definitely.
I know, it's okay.
You and I just always had that like brother sister relationship.
Banter.
Yeah, like we
Yeah,
can
I never.
literally tell everything to each other.
I think with a lot of people, like I've never really like lost that feeling. I've always been there for everybody that I work for, and I create
Yeah.
like that vibe or the essence, I guess.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt like you were always that person that like put everyone together. Like I wouldn't show up somewhere unless I was invited by you. You know what I mean?
I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody. I think I said like at my early Chili's days, like my house was a party house, and then I got promoted, and it just like it's hard because Mark would have to sit me down and be like, "Bro, like what are you doing? Like you need to
I
stop."
remember.
Like, and I'll never forget like the first conversation. It was like the first time I was ever late. Like I was supposed to open the restaurant, and I got there at 9.
Oh no.
And Mark was happy to pass by the restaurant, and he saw that he was, he was standing outside pissed off.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
God.
And Mark called me. I showed up like at like 9:25. I hadn't even showered. I was like hungover because
But corporate, like, was there like a rule that was like a no tolerance rule, like at Cheddar's?
yeah, but we were a satellite store, like nobody was like if it would have been San Antonio, like yeah, I would probably have been fired, but the fact that we were in Eagle Pass and nobody came down, like we never really got any visitors,
Wow.
you got there on the second wave, but at the beginning when we were like booming because of the oil field, I mean,
I
Mark,
remember serving on all those oil riggers when it just started because that hotel had opened behind
The Motel
Chili's.
6.
Yeah, and they would all stay there.
Well, when did you start working at Chili's, Norby?
06, 07.
What?
Yeah,
So you were still in high school.
yeah, I was in high school. I was a junior.
Holy crap. So how long
Yeah.
were you at Chili's then before you left?
All the way up into like 2014. One day, funny story. Like, so I'll tell you. I guess so. Just Samara understands, right? Too, because I know she doesn't know about Cheddar's the way, like you knew me there
Yeah.
I
too.
know nothing about Cheddar's.
So like,
All I know is that I got shitty service there one time.
so
Oh
I'll
no.
tell you how I got recruited for Cheddar's, right? So one day at Chili's at Eagle Pass, I'm having a horrible shift, right?
Mhm.
And you know how we would get so many spam calls, right? And I happened to pick up the phone right there on the alleyway, like on the exit door going into like the 30s.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the phone rang or whatever, and I picked it up, and they're like, "Hey, blah blah blah. This is so and so calling from this recruiting agency or whatever, right?" And I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, can I help you with something? Or you need a to go order or whatever?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, are you tired of your job?" And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "How do you know this? Who's your?" I was like, "Who's your source? Who's your source?"
Who have you been listening to?
Dude,
Right?
what the
Like, and then I
the
was
gods have spoken. You're the dumbass that fell for the fucking spam call.
so I did fall for it. So I gave the lady my information or whatever, and then she emailed me and she built me a resume, and
What?
and then I interviewed with what was his name? Me an email, and he's like, "Hey, Norby, I'd like to meet you. Send you an email, and really excited to make an offer. So whatever." Like they didn't even interview me in person, bro. Let me just tell you, they hired me on paper.
That's crazy.
My gosh.
Yeah, I got on the team, and I literally took like a $15,000 pay raise and a $10,000 sign on bonus back then.
Wow.
Damn, that's awesome.
So
That's great.
yeah, I mean, it was a lot of money for that time. And so our restaurant wasn't going to be open for like another year because of the property. They were having issues with the foundation, and
Always.
I don't know what it was. So Paul sent us to go train in McAllen, and then there was all these issues
Brownsville.
in McAllen. So then he sent us to Brownsville, and we trained in Brownsville, and then they sent us to El Paso. Then we were in San Angelo. We went to Kansas. We were in Kansas. We were everywhere.
My God.
Wow.
And then we opened up Laredo. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, like, and maybe people will tell you differently, but I was a guy that wanted to go diffuse everybody's tables. Like I literally kept there for longer than he should have been. Like you, Mauer, there was
Oh, okay.
a lot of other
Yeah.
Ivans, like Yeah.
Why? You're not cool with him?
You know, we're cool now. We're still cool. But I'm saying, like, back then when y'all would make mistakes, I would always
Yeah,
go
yeah, yeah.
fix it. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
Like my bacon ribs.
That was just something funny,
Dude.
though. There was a Shinerbach burger, add bacon.
Dude, I tell Cassie how stressed out the kitchen was. Like I had Onofre, like he tore up that ticket, came to me, and then told me to go talk to the table again. And that's when he looked at the menu. He was like, I want this type of bacon on the, what was it, that burger?
The Shiner Burger?
The
Yes.
Shiner, but because we had Shinerbach ribs, remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I thought that's what he was talking about. And then he wanted me to add the bacon on top.
Which
And
made
I was like, all
which
right.
made no sense, though. Like, I was like, okay, when I saw the ticket, I remember somebody go like, what is fucking wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with her? Like, I was like, I don't know. If that's what she wants, put fucking bacon on the ribs and I'll take it out. Let's go. And
Dude,
then
yeah, I stressed out the whole kitchen that day.
Shit,
I
you
walked
would've
it out.
And
stressed
then
me
it took
out.
forever. Yeah, it took forever to come out. Remember, Normie? That's why I told you, I was like, can you run it out? Because they're getting mad.
well, because it took us like 20 minutes to decipher what you were texting on it. Like, I was like, she like hand wrote it on the
The
ticket, like,
modifies?
please add bacon to the ribs on top. You know?
Yeah. Like, just lay it on top and let it melt like cheese.
My
like,
God.
Yeah, no.
Dude, nobody believes me about that story, but I swear it happened.
Well,
Well,
I
we
mean,
have
there's
the proof.
I literally posted on my social media. That was like my first post ever on Instagram. Like,
Yeah. That was
Oh,
wild.
yeah. It would have been that. Mm-hmm.
Thank God we
I don't
have that
know.
in the archive.
but yeah, no, it really like a lot of that really shaped my my time in management, right? Like a lot of my firsts happened there. You know, everything that would go down.
That's true.
But that's the reason why I got promoted, though. Like, I would literally like instead of me. Like, the reason why I got promoted was because I would talk to my tables. I wouldn't really let a manager come out and handle the issue if I would make a mistake. Like, I would try to take care of it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what really like helped me become a key. And then like they fired somebody at that time, or Gabriel was leaving to go open up Laredo #2,
Yes.
and was our director back then, was like, hey, you wanna be a manager already? And I was like, I've only been a key for like a month, and he's like, you're ready.
Wow.
So I got promoted. Like at 19 or 20. Like, I was about to be 20, I think.
Yeah, and then you joined the military, didn't you?
Yeah, I did the reserves for a little bit while I was in Kingsville. I left to Kingsville or whatever. And
Wow.
yeah, no, it was a ride. I had left to Kingsville before that. I was already in the military, so I would do the reserves on part-time or whatever.
That's right.
But yeah, no, like Chili's was a wild ride, because I even worked in Kingsville. I worked in Corpus, and I'll never forget like my experience in Kingsville. Like, the GM that I had there, he's like, typically, you know, I don't hire guys as ugly looking as you, you know, because I only hire attractive people. But right now we're struggling to hire, so I'm gonna give you a chance. I'll tell you right now, the key to success for a restaurant is sex. Sex sells, sir, and you're just
What?
you're not it. And I was like, okay, bro, thanks.
But you had already been working at Chili's Eagle Pass?
Yeah, but like he wouldn't let me transfer in. Like, he had to meet me in person.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was like, okay. I was like, motherfucker. I was like, and he was ugly as fuck. Like, I have no neck. This motherfucker had no neck.
Ew.
Like, he looked like like Mr. Potato Head's face. Like, that's what he looked like.
Oh no.
And I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah, we had some beautiful servers
Mr.
working there. Like, it was
Potato
all
Head.
white girls and Hispanic girls, and like it was a few dudes. You know, the dudes that were
Yeah.
there were all linemen, and there was like 2 or 3 guys that worked on the floor, and that was it.
Damn. So what's one key thing that you learned, like, from working as a team member and that you took with you into management? Like, did anything like put a stamp or make a mark on you, like as a team member or an employee, that you took with you into management?
I guess it was customer experience. You know.
Yeah.
I think that was like what really put the stamp on me. Like, I learned that you have to kiss people's asses. Unfortunately, in that business or industry, like, you're
Unfortunately.
there to make people feel good.
Yeah.
So as a bartender, I think what really put a stamp on me was like being a psychiatrist at the bar.
That's right.
Like, I kind of
Mm,
ruined a lot of
I
stuff
like
too.
that.
Like, there was so many people that came in with different girls, and I would always say, hey, like, that's not the girl you came in with last week, right? Like,
No.
I did it like twice. I remember the first time I did it, I was like, fuck, I fucked up really bad. Like, hey, is this your girlfriend? And he's like, no, this one's my wife. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh my
So
god.
so yeah, I mean, it was super saucy. Like you used to see all these kind of crazy scenarios at Chili's. Like, I'll never forget the time. Do you remember those two guys that would come and sit at the end of the bar top? What were their names? They worked at that ranch,
At the ranch.
the very end of the
They
bar top.
sat on the
Yeah.
where the to-go side.
Yes.
The to-go side is that?
Yeah. What were
And
their
they would
names?
leave through the back all the time.
I don't know, but this guy, like, he was super hammered one time, and you know how it says you can't walk through the server alley?
Oh yeah.
Like he was in that little
Yeah.
hallway where we kept the napkins, and we had
I
the bowl.
remember.
He was hauling ass
Yes.
to go to. He was hauling ass
I
to go to the
remember
restroom, and he
this.
fucking slipped, and the fucking
Yes, I
napkins,
remember.
the napkins flew everywhere.
Oh my god, I remember this.
Yeah, and I had to kick people out of the. I had to ban somebody that day. I'm not gonna put his name out there like that anymore because I banned. But that was the first and only time I banned somebody from Toledo and Eagle Pass.
Damn.
So yeah, I would take the key thing that I learned was customer service. I think that and being a psychiatrist to deal with all the bullshit that you had to deal with. Patience.
Deadass.
Patience, bro.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing
Hey.
that Mark taught us, I think was customer experience and customer service. I think for us, the benefit and maybe even the downfall, when you have a GM like Mark, I feel like, and the type of GM that he is, I feel like nobody can compare when it comes to like what he does. Like you'll see him in the kitchen and you'll see him in the front of house. There are some managers and some GMs that unfortunately they pick one or the other. They're either in the kitchen or in the office
Yeah,
all day, every
they
day.
find what suits them the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then they stay there. And it's like, okay, maybe if you were like a regular manager, then fine. But if you're the GM, like if you're a GM, I expect you to be doing table touches. I expect you to be like walking the floor like every now and
own your
then.
shit. You know what I mean?
Yes. And at least work more than one like shift. Because there's GMs that only work morning.
I know. I was always so shocked when I would see Mark there like after 6 p.m.
But he knew how to do it and he could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can say like I worked with that man for like 10 to 12 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
My hat's off to him and respect. Like I really, if there's one person I can say that I take a lot from that industry, is him.
Yeah.
I learned some of the greatest things from him when it came to, I mean, just customer experience in general. Like he really like the way he could talk to you. Like he would put everything together. Like he would just make it flow. You know what I mean? And
And make it make sense.
that was his strong suit. Like Mark was a people first manager. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he took care of his
Mhm.
team and he took care of the people. Like that was the most, because to be successful in a restaurant, you have to take care of your team. You can't just say like, "Oh, fuck my team." You know what I mean? And then like expect them to perform for you because they're not.
And I think when I worked with him at Cheddar's, he would talk about how when he used to work at Chili's, like in the OG days, like before I was there, that he was a different type of manager, and people hated working with him.
Well, no, it wasn't that he was a different type of manager. He was just really active. Like, and he was anal. You know, like you, like he would literally go and open your cooler doors, and like he would wipe
A gasket.
the gasket, and he would, if it was trash in there, he's like, "Call me when you're ready. Don't be wasting my time." So
Yeah.
like you would start looking for other things, and it really creates that meticulous, or like I guess having that eye as a manager to look for stupid shit that
Yeah.
that nobody else is gonna look for, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's what I could say. Like he was very active back then. I got to see him through different stages. When I worked with him at Rainforest Cafe, at Cheddar's,
That's
I worked with him
right.
at Bubba's 33, and I think that really put a toll on him. That path that we took going into that restaurant.
Bubba's?
Yeah, I think all of us. Roadhouse is a great company to work for, but I mean it's very high demanding, and it's a lot of
Yeah.
work, man. It's a lot of work for no money.
No
Mm-hmm.
way.
So, I'm not talking shit. I'm just stating facts. Anybody that's
Yeah.
anybody that's been a Roadhouse manager can tell you. You live in that I was a manager in the window. A kitchen manager. You live in that window all shift. You're screaming at everybody, and then after
Yeah.
that, you have a powwow and you make everybody feel good. but that's definitely like you have to be a people first manager there. Like you have to know your team and take care of your team because people will walk out on you.
Wow.
That is very true. I
Yeah.
was actually talking about my Texas Roadhouse GM.
Experience.
How, it was just so easy to walk out, even that my mother-in-law knew him, like,
Mhm.
personally, and they were friends. And after the way, like, he treated me after my miscarriage, and then,
Yeah, I heard all that stuff. That was really rough. I
yeah.
had my own experiences when it comes to that with females at work, and it
Mhm.
wasn't great. Like I know that a lot of it's not something that's common, right? But it does happen in
Mhm.
the workplace, and you have to be understanding because it's a person. Like you have a
Yeah.
person inside you. Like I guess my perspective changed when I had my own kids too.
I was gonna say, yeah, when you're a dad, I think you view it a lot a lot more different. So what was the first step that you took, like, into initiating? Because once you became a manager, you never went back. Like, you never
Because you can like
demoted yourself.
you can't go back. I mean, I tried. Don't get me wrong. Yeah,
Really?
like when you look at your bartender checks and then you look at a serving check, like at
Yeah.
a manager check, there's a big pay difference. Like if you start off at a 50K salary, I was making
Yeah.
1,100 a week at Chili's as a bartender, and then you see your manager check, and for every 2 weeks I was making 1,300 at 50K. It wasn't shit. You know what I mean? I literally took like a $700 pay cut.
And at Chili's, you were getting paid every 2 weeks?
hmm So like walking out from having tips every day to having a check and then
Mhm.
having less money and more responsibility and no friends, you know?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't really like a oh my god, like
It's hard.
but then you have to think of the bigger picture. It's a career for the future, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Chili's really laid down like the foundation
A stepping
for a
stone.
career, you know what I mean? Like like Mark if it wasn't for Mark that saw that in me back then, like I wouldn't be
Uh-huh.
where I'm at today. I'm not in a better place right now. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot of steps still I need to take to get to a better place. Um,
Yeah.
but most definitely, like a lot of what I learned there from him is what I've taken into my career now.
Definitely. I'll never forget, Norby, when you came up to me and we were in the I'll never forget. You came up to me and we were inside, like, by the expo in the kitchen, and you were like, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I remember looking at you, I was, like, 21, and I was like, probably, like, married with kids." So naive of me, right? Small town thinking. But I was like, I don't know, like, married with kids, right? And then you were like, "Okay, yeah, sure, whatever, but where do you see yourself, like, in career-wise?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I think back then I wanted to go to school for, like, criminal justice, and so I think that that was at the back of my mind, but you were like, "You would never see yourself being a manager?" And I was like, "Fuck no, not for this
And
place."
and that's why because back then we had conversations about you being a key. Like
Wow.
we had already seen what you brought to the table even back then. You know what I mean? Mark
Yeah.
Like Mark would sit every time we had to sit down. I mean, me and Mark were very meticulous. Like we talked a lot about people, like about growth and who was promotable and who wasn't, and what do you see in this person, and what about this person. So, like we were very like I mean, I was his right hand guy for a long time. I once he gained my trust,
Yeah.
it was a different world. Like going into any restaurant was a different world. But I saw your potential from the moment I met you. Like you have that customer service drive. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you were like me too. Like you put out your own fires half the time.
Yeah, I tried to.
Like the other day when you were talking on your podcast, it was funny because you guys never mentioned it. But I'm telling you right now, what is the table number that everybody always forgot about at Chili's?
Oh, the one right there, by the next to the host stand.
Yeah. No, no,
No,
no,
Oh,
no.
next
It
to that
was
no, no. It's table 6.
at the corner?
yes.
Because in the corner you had table 5 by the windows,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
The one that was
and then there was always table 6, the first table that's right
Yeah,
it
after
yeah,
was
it.
yeah.
the booth.
And everybody would always forget about the table. Like you got sat, and then like okay, and then that table would sit there for 20 minutes,
My
and we would
God.
always have to comp their food. Table 6 was like the table that everybody like every manager had a comp. It was like the worst fucking table because you could never see it over the booths in the
Yeah.
30s.
I was probably one of them that probably got that comped all the time.
Nah, you weren't a bad server. I think you just like kind of space out every now and then.
That was so nice of you. Wow.
But yeah, no, I mean that
Damn.
restaurant, like I was the guy that always put up everybody's fires. Like I would go talk to everybody's fucking. I was there all the time. I was
True.
the night manager,
Mm-hmm.
and if I wasn't the night manager, it was would just stand in that fucking corner over there by the exit of the kitchen, by the 70s.
I
He would
remember.
hide
I
in that little
know.
corner right there. You would ask him to go talk to your table, and he would go, "Oh,
What'd
what
you
did you
do
do
now?" Yeah.
now?"
I knew it.
Going back to like the manager that you like is one of the managers that I hated working with.
I would definitely fire him.
I most definitely did not enjoy working with him. He was a great person, you know,
I loved closing with him.
What?
because he didn't care.
Exactly.
Oh, well.
I was
yeah.
out of there pronto because he would never have to check my stuff.
My
Mm.
God.
He's like, yeah, just leave your money in the office and just go ahead and clock out.
I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then
And-
also
and then-
Gabe.
Gabe would do it because he trusted you.
Yes. Once he got that trust,
Dude, and he would Gabe would stress out every freaking shift.
he's a weeder. He's a weeder.
He is a weeder. Yeah.
You know,
he
he
is a
lived in the
weeder.
weeds, but I'll tell you something. Like he was one of my. I got really close to Gabe for a really long time, and he
Uh-huh.
was honestly he paved the way for me in management too because like he cared about the people too a lot. You know.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
does.
Yes, he does.
Like
Agreed.
he was a fucking sweetheart. Like that guy. Like he would do anything for his people. Like you know what I mean.
He
Like
will.
like if you were calling out sick or you had some crazy shit going on, he would restructure the schedule to give you some time off or whatever. Like he worked really hard on that. You know, I'll give him that.
Yeah, he
Mhm, I
did.
agree.
So I guess I got the coolness from him because like a lot of people should have lost their jobs, but I would always take care of them.
Vouch
Like
for them.
I would move the schedule around, or I would run one less person, and that would mean I would have to be on the floor more. You know what I mean?
I was the same
Mhm.
way. Yeah.
And then you have to be that way because like sometimes people do need time off. Like your world doesn't revolve around the restaurant, and I learned that. Like I learned that now. Like right, like you know, becoming a manager, like you think about the things that your first week as a manager and where you are at now. And I'll tell you, like I learned that you need to value yourself as a person.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not all about work.
It's not.
Yeah.
You have to separate like your time and then work.
And the team that I'm with now, like you know, I joined Las Palapas and I know you know EJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, so EJ's the area director. He brought me on.
What?
Yeah.
No way. I thought he left Bubba's to go be a GM.
So no, I left Bubba's, right?
Uh-huh.
And then he left Bubba's too. And then he joined Las Palapas and he tried to recruit me like 2-3 months in, but I had already joined another restaurant team.
Okay.
But then he like just recently I was working at a dealership and he reached out to me. He's like, hey, like he drove down Eagle Pass and he's like, hey, you want to come work for me again? And he made me a deal and
That you can't
you know,
refuse.
it's not where I want to be at. It's not where I want to be at, you know, a year or two.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully if I prove myself, I'll be at where I want to be at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what you have to look at it as. And now as a GM, what are some of the hardest transitions that you've had to kind of hone in on and like focus on? Because being or taking the jump or transitioning from a manager to a GM, like you have a lot more weight on your shoulders. Like how has that been and what are some of the different things that you're facing that you didn't really notice or take into consideration when you were just an employee, a key, or a manager?
I think every restaurant faces it is just staffing, you know?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I think staffing, and then I think another challenge that we faced was, you know, pricing went up for everything, pay went up, so it was constant living in the like in Eagle Pass. You guys didn't hear much of it back then, but it was business rules. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but Chili's had this thing where you could only it would tell you by the hour how many people you can have on the clock, and you can only have 3 servers, and you can only have 1 cook or 2 cooks on.
Yeah.
So when they really started pushing that, and Chili's went when we added the fucking conventional ovens.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
When we got rid of the grill and we got that fucking oven.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
when Chili's went. That's when Chili's went to shit. Like right now, they would be at a different place because, yeah, like it saved money or whatever, but the people struggle. Like,
So did
like,
they cook
It was
steaks in the oven?
no, we did them on the flat top.
Jessica was
Oh.
tripping.
We would cook the chicken through the oven.
Yes.
Oh, there you
Like
go.
most
I knew we did
places.
protein and yeah. Oh, I didn't know that was an
Yeah, we cooked the chicken and the salmon through the oven.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's honestly what set us up for success. So when we got to Cheddar's, because they brought them in when we literally left Chili's because of that, and we got to Cheddar's and they added them like 3 months later.
Well, because at the
And then like
Boo.
at the Cheddars that you were working at or training at, they
they
had
didn't have them
grills.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had grills, and we were gonna be the first restaurant. Laredo was gonna be the first restaurant to open up with them.
With the transformed.
And
Yeah.
and we were all managers that had worked with them, like me, Gabe,
Wow.
except Leroy. Leroy was coming from what was that
Montana
restaurant there in
Mike's.
Montana Mike's? But then you had Renee, that was a Chili's guy, and
Mm-hmm.
then you had AJ. AJ had never worked with it before,
No, he was Texas
and then
Roadhouse.
yeah, he was Texas House, and so it was like I was already experienced. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can you believe that they went back to that shit?
To Texas Roadhouse.
No. So Cheddar's Laredo opened like as a transformed restaurant, and they had the flat top and they had the oven.
Uh-huh.
Right when I was quitting, they were transforming all the restaurants back to the open like grill concept.
Oh, got you. Well, yeah,
And then I don't know why the
I had
flying
just
fuck
gotten
they went
fired.
back.
I had just gotten fired at that point.
Where did you get fired from?
I got fired in Kansas, but I went to go work for the school district for like 2 years at that point. That was a fucking life changer.
I remember.
It was fun, and then Mark called me up one day, and he's like, "Come work for me at
Bubba's
Rainforest."
Rainforest.
And I took off out there, and it was during COVID and crazy times, and
That was a wild time.
yeah, that restaurant, you really like that restaurant would kick mine and Mark's ass. Like we were up and down 4 floors, like it was hardcore. There came a time where we had to let everybody go, like, and it was just
That's
Mark, me,
crazy.
and the kitchen manager.
During COVID, right?
Yeah, and you're working 70, 80 hours a week, like coming in all day, like from open to close, like it was whack.
But
And I left, I quit.
but given that you were on the Riverwalk during COVID, were you guys even like busy for curbside and like to go? Because I feel like that's
No, bro, our plates were like $27 a plate. Like there's no way like we're gonna be busy.
but even like location wise, it's COVID. Like it's not like a regular restaurant where you can pull up to curbside and pull up to a to-go spot. You get me? Like, are people really ordering to go?
No, we were even doing like drinks on the side of the road and shit. Like it was just
No
whack.
fucking way.
Yeah, it was really whack. It was a really like weird time in the restaurant industry,
Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
Is it true that you had to take a pay cut?
Yeah, we did. We went down to half pay. Even Mark, like that was
That is
crazy.
half?
Yeah, so like
Kiss my
living in
ass.
San Antonio, like I was making 70 back then plus bonus, right?
Uh-huh.
And imagine taking a pay cut and then down to $35,000 a month, or for the year or whatever, right? So like
My
that was your salary
God.
now. So I went from making $1,600 checks to like $800 checks every 2 weeks,
My God.
and my rent was $1,000, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and my car payment was $4, and then on top of that, from those $800, I was paying child support. So child support was
Yeah.
coming out of there. So I was not gonna make it. Like I was not gonna survive.
Yeah.
You're like,
no.
I'm drowning here, bro.
Well, no. Like the first month it happened, I was like, I'm dipping, I'm gone, and I went to
Yeah.
Pluckers. I went to go work up. I came home for like 2 months, and I got that unemployment fat check, that everybody was getting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I worked my ass off during COVID.
Well, I didn't have an option. I
That's
wasn't
true.
gonna work.
That's
I
true.
wasn't gonna work half pay,
No, fuck no.
and then
I don't blame you.
No, and then
And
it's
then,
expensive out there.
Yeah, no.
yeah, and then I went to Pluckers, and I was working double shifts at Pluckers as a server, and I was making $500 a day. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
Oh
I
shit, you went back as
I
a
racked up-
server.
yeah, there was only like 5 servers in the whole restaurant, like for the morning and night shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there was only like 5 servers for the shift. One bartender that worked every day.
Wow.
And yeah, I was making bank, man. I was putting some money away. I was living good. Like I was living lavish. I got to save up, and then management called again.
Yeah.
Duty calls.
I didn't want to go back, honestly.
It's a different kind of responsibility.
I mean, there's no responsibility. Like you just do your money, do your work, and go home. Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel you there. So how was the transition into GM then?
it's the same thing. Like So do you remember Leslie Reed?
Yeah,
So I was already a GM at IHOP in Eagle Pass.
at the casino.
At the casino, yeah, I was taking care of the restaurant there, and it was fun. Like don't get me wrong, it was super fun. It just wasn't enough money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to go work with Leslie. She called me up, and I got to go work with her at this place called the Cook Shack.
The barbecue place?
Yeah, it's super simple. My staff was real small. I treated everybody like family. I
Mm-hmm.
treat my managers every week, buy them food.
Yeah.
I tried to be the GM that like Mark was fucking awesome. Mark would show up with tacos all the time. He'd bring
Yeah.
donuts. You know what I mean? Like I try to be that guy. Like I try to have like barbacoa Sundays and or like I try to barbecue for them and we do cookouts and I would cook for my staff. I would make trash can nachos like they used to do for us. Like a lot of the stuff
Yeah.
I took like that core life of management when times were good to like all the restaurants I worked at, you know?
Mm-hmm. You
Mm-hmm.
have
And I
to.
and I was always that manager. Like I was always a cool manager. Like everybody wanted to work on my shifts. Everybody would
Mm-hmm.
like you knew that you were the cool manager when everybody would look at the schedule and they're like, oh, I don't want to work. They would like
Yeah.
switch their schedules. So yeah, it was it was definitely a life changing experience. Temp, time out, time out. Mauer, stop biting on your mic, Mauer.
I'm not biting on it.
There's like
That's
a
why I'm gonna put.
clicking.
Okay, I'm gonna put myself on mute and then I'll tag in whatever. Cause I
No, no,
am
it went
just
away.
like right here.
It went away. It went away.
What are you doing?
I am clipping my toenails.
That's what it is. That's nasty, bro. I felt that she hit me in the face.
Oh my.
Oh, your toenails are hitting the mic, dude. Calm down.
Is that what? Oh, that
No, there's like a clicking in the mic.
it's the nail clipper.
The fucking
Oh
nails
my
are thick as
gosh.
fuck, dude. Your,
My
Dude,
God.
I have.
them prenatals must have worked really good on you.
Dude.
they did. You can leave this in the podcast.
Okay, well, anyways, back to Norby. So I kind of want to know what piece of advice you would have to people or team members, people that work in the food service industry that eventually want to move into management or from management into a higher position like a general manager. Like, what is your sound advice from your experience?
As you go through managing people and you want to trust them, and you want to become a really good leader, and for people that want to become managers, I think my best
Mm-hmm.
advice, like I would say that you need to trust your people, like learning to trust, and eventually they're gonna break it. But it's like a relationship. Like you're gonna get hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But you just have to
but that's
trust
how
your
you
people.
learn.
Yeah, that's how you trust your people. Like no, you trust them until they prove it differently.
What's
And
the
I
most rewarding? I'm so sorry, finish.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask you, what's the most rewarding part of like being a GM?
I mean, there's a lot
Yeah.
from seeing people that never thought they could do a certain job, do the job. I think for me, like right now that I'm going through training or whatever, like just turning around and telling everybody great job, it's just making people happy.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing the face on your team and then like just fucking winning, bro. Like making the sales, hitting labor, hitting food costs, like
That part.
that part to me is like the most rewarding part of the job. Like
Yeah.
knowing that that's how you can prove that you're the shit. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. Because you see the performance and you see your wins on paper.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people lack that. Like a lot of people don't know what the fuck food cost is. A lot of people don't know like
A P&L.
a P&L. Like I take it back to Mark Garcia, man. If it wasn't for that man, I would have never learned how to read a P&L. Like he was a numbers guy.
Mm-hmm. It's like Jessica said last time, like he is a mentor. He knows what to teach you and what to let you learn on your own. Like he's very wise in that area.
Yeah. Unfortunately, some of
Agreed.
us never learned, but yeah. But he taught me a lot
Unfortunately.
though.
That was me. That was definitely me.
Yeah.
Oh, are you pointing that at me?
No, I'm talking about myself
Oh,
in general.
And what about change? I feel that we have been in the food service industry long enough to see, how things have changed over the years. What are a manager's mindsets or a company's mindsets now versus where they were 10, 15 years ago? Like, what do we focus on now that we didn't back then?
As the years have gone by, I think what's changed is I think restaurants stopped giving a fuck after COVID, and even a little bit before that, it became about money. I get labor goes up, and I get food cost goes up, and I get, we're gonna struggle with certain items, but I always go back to the same thing. You cannot stop taking care of your people. Like I think like
yeah.
as a GM, like you have to have sit downs with your team. I think you need to know where they're at financially, where they're at personally living. Like Even your team members when they're going through struggles. To me personally, I think it's a person that's in tune with their team knows how the restaurant's running. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because if you're having a bad day, and I don't even know what's going on in your life, like how can I be there for you? You know what I mean?
You're in the business of people.
Oh,
So I think throughout the years, I think that's something that the industry changed a lot, and I think that the kids changed a lot too. Like, man, there was so many great
Yes.
servers and team members that when I first started at Chili's, and then as the years went down, they were like watered down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Like
very hard to find like a dedicated employee.
when you were there, like Orly, the one with the
Yeah.
glasses, what was his other guy's name?
oh, Jer.
JR. Yeah, JR. You had fucking Brittany, her sister Brooke. They were all good. Brandon,
That's
Mercedes.
right.
You had Edith, Noe, Christine. You had like the Debbies, the Sillas.
Yeah.
Everybody that went to that restaurant, even like the sisters Amy and Savannah, AJ. I mean, we all
Yeah.
we had a great team. Margie. Everybody
Yeah.
was good. Everybody was good.
Oh, Laura. She's a GM now at
Yeah,
Chili's.
yeah, exactly. Laura too. Like Laura was amazing. Like her personality, she was the people first. You know what I mean? Like she cared about
Yeah.
the food. Like she would come bitch at me, like, "Hey, Norby, like this shit's not right. Like fix it." You know?
She was a leader. Like she led
Yeah,
people. Her and Jen were my trainers. I'll never forget.
yeah. No, then you had Dina. You know what I mean? Like there's so
Yeah.
many people that went through that restaurant that I could tell you like there's so many great leaders, like people that are leaders today, like in their jobs. You know?
I think that Chili's Eagle Pass truly made a lot of us who we are today.
No, that restaurant definitely makes you or breaks you. I'll tell you that.
It taught me work
Yeah.
ethic and
Look at
multitasking.
you. You're a great mom because of it now, Mauer.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so nice, Norby.
Well, think about it. You're a server. Like you're still serving.
Yeah,
We never stopped serving.
You're in the service industry. You're a mother. Like you're constantly getting drinks. You're constantly making food. You're taking
yeah,
orders. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's true.
And
I gotta say, I am a server to people that are on dialysis. Like I help
Oh,
people,
yeah.
I help navigate insurance coordination. I get them like on social security, disability, like all that.
yeah, so I mean,
So
like you're
I'm their advocate.
a lot of
Yeah.
what we did at Chili's like really like kind of
Yeah,
shapes your future because like it taught you customer service, taught you how to care for people, it taught you multitasking, it taught you
join the.
money management skills, it
Mm-hmm.
taught you your worth. Like, hey, like I was making $120 a day. Like if I'm not making that right now, then I shouldn't be working here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yep,
I guess yeah, and then
agreed.
you know challenges that you faced as a manager, and GMs today, like fuck staffing. I'll always go back to staffing. That's one of the hardest things. And then
It's
like
a big one.
I think another I guess biggest challenge is quality of life. You're so vested. Like there's certain days you can't take off, and then there's things going on in
Yeah.
inventories and holidays, and like you forget to
It's
be.
tough.
I really think like as I work my way up again, I want it to be about family first too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want my managers to spend time with their kids on their birthdays. Like I think I want to make it a personal
Goal.
goal for myself to know all my team members' families' birthdays. You know what I mean? Like and their birthdays, like to make sure that they're
That's
off.
good.
Like that should be like number one. Like hey, like you're not coming to work that day, and if you do, like
Yeah.
Mark, even then, like I'll take it back to Mark, right? Like he would buy you a cake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he sure did. And there was a huge ass one because we would have to put it where the dish pit was
Oh
because
my
we couldn't.
God.
It couldn't fit. Well, also because under the heaters and stuff.
Yeah.
No, shit. I'll tell you. Talking about cakes, I'll tell you a story real quick. Um, I will never forget it. I was serving on this table, and they brought that big ass fruit cake from HEB. It was like $130.
Oh my God.
And you remember when you walk into the walk-in, and we have the beer cooler to your left, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then there's that one green shelf right there. And we would keep like juice and milk and shit like for the servers. And then there's a bottom shelf. I put the fucking cake right at that bottom shelf, right? So everything was great. I was serving on the table. Everything was good. The cake was covered, whatever, right? So I'm coming back to grab the fucking cake. I am not gonna lie to you guys. I lifted it, and I was too overconfident that the weight distribution of the bottom of the bottom of the carton was gonna hold the weight. Fuck no, bro.
Oh
That
no.
fucking cake flipped over in the box.
Oh my
You're talking about
God.
$130 cake, fruit cake. Everybody was in the walk-in fucking devouring it, dude. It was like a 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock shift. That everybody was in the walk-in eating that
No.
shit. Everybody. And guess I had
Dude,
to
what a
buy.
nightmare.
Mark bought everybody on that table Moltons.
Oh my
Like, he
God.
saved
Not
my
the frozen
ass.
molten.
He saved my ass.
I
He bought
know.
everybody a fucking Molten. Like, everybody had a Molten. It was like 16 Moltons went out to that table.
But that's one thing I've learned is that I'd rather take the hit and buy like everybody, like I'd rather pay for a table's ticket and eat like shit for $200, like instead of them going to corporate and then corporate turning around and then like making it a big deal and then giving them
They send them
$500.
BOGs, and
Kiss my
they
ass.
send them BOGs and a fucking email to everybody in the company to talk about the experience.
Yeah, no, I'd rather like take care of a table that's in my restaurant right now and make it right versus them going to corporate. Kiss my ass.
Yeah. No. When it comes to that, I've only had one table that really like ticked me off, and it was during Thanksgiving,
Oh no.
and it was at Rainforest, man. You know how we had all those animals and shit?
Yeah.
People would get up to go take pictures and stuff, and it's literally Thanksgiving, bro. Like, we're trying to get the fuck out of there. It's 9:30 already at night, and this family came in, and they tried to buy their way in because during Thanksgiving it's really hard to get in. It's like a 3-hour wait. They tried to pay my host $100 to get sat. They ended up buying into the Landry Select Club,
Oh my God.
and they got fucking seated right. Well, they're
Is that how desperate they were to eat at a fucking rainforest cafe?
Dude.
yes. So these
Oh
mofos,
my
these
gosh.
mofos walked around, and their food got to the table. Food got cold. I threw the food away in front of them,
No.
and she still proceeded to say that I brought her the same food out to the table because she said it was cold again.
You remade
I'm like,
it?
ma'am, there's no. I remade it, bro. And then she said that what kind of manager I was, that I shouldn't be a manager, I was a trash manager, that I didn't know what I was doing, that who serves reheated food, and I'm just hearing this lady like talk shit to me, right? And it
Like,
wasn't until she
bitch.
spit in my face. It wasn't until she spit in my face when I just said, you know what? Just get the fuck up. I'm gonna comp your whole tab. Leave my restaurant.
Get out.
Like, leave.
Yeah, no, get out.
Get out.
Yeah. That is so insane how crazy they go on your ass. Like, that's like if someone told on your manager.
Well, it's not even about that. I
Like-
think if you really look at like people, like this generation specifically revolves around reviews.
And now we have TikTok.
Yeah, reviews
all
were a
that.
thing, but then like they didn't really blow up until like during COVID or after COVID, where everybody would post everything on social media.
True.
So
Mhm.
so like a negative post will really make or break your business, especially like if it's family owned, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, so I could understand why they make a big deal. They want to nip it in the bud. But man, bro, sometimes it was like, even no matter what you did for some customers, like they were never gonna be happy. Like they were just coming for the freebies, and especially at Chili's and Eagle Pass, like I think that we went above and beyond and gave a lot of people free shit. You know what
Well,
I
yeah,
mean?
because I know Mark. I know
We
Mark
did.
Garcia. I'm like,
no,
bitch,
no,
I
no.
know Mark
The
Garcia
worst
too.
one, the worst one. I know Mike Garcia, and I'm like,
Dude.
oh yeah, he doesn't work here.
No way.
I know Mike Garcia. He's my friend. You know the guy on the door? Oh, you mean Mark? You mean Mark Garcia, man?
Did you tell Mark that?
Yes, he would fucking laugh whenever I tell him.
But Mark hated that shit. Mark truly did hate when people would use that shit.
And then people would like complain about the stupidest shit, like, "Oh, I'm allergic to onions." Like, oh my god, bitch!
No,
like,
bitch, you're
allergic to
not.
onions.
It's a preference.
You're eating fucking onion rings. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I can have them because they're fried.
Dude, my
And then they would have
God.
they would like we would like I don't remember what item we made that had onions in it, and I would see them eat it, and I'm like, bitch, you're eating onions. Like, what the fuck? Like,
The burger
that you're
bites.
allergic to.
Yeah, the burger bites
The
had
diced
the diced
onions.
onions in it.
But they were grilled though.
Oh, do you mean they were raw? Was it the guac then?
Yeah, like it was the raw onions they couldn't eat.
You mean like in the guac?
Then the guac or in the burgers.
Oh my gosh. I hated the tableside
Dude,
guac.
that was like
oh,
my
you-
fucking
you were there for that?
Yeah,
The
I
fucking
hated
avocados were
it.
so hard at the time.
I
I
fucking
know.
hated that shit, dude.
Dude, I was there like fucking breaking that shit up for like a good 10 minutes
It's like
because
you're
you want to make
And
it like
people would get mad
guacamole.
if you
Like,
didn't do it in front of them.
yeah, no, it
I know, I'd
was
be like, honestly, truthfully, when it
no.
was busy, I'd like, and then just give it to them.
I think what I really miss about Chili's is that we used to shake the margaritas all the way to the table, and Mark would really get on your
I
ass about that.
remember.
But the 1, 2, 3
Mm-hmm.
sizzle was my shit. You know what I mean? Like the 1, 2, 3 sizzle. Like
Sizzle!
everybody, that shit was the best shit ever for me. Like it coming out of the kitchen, you know?
And our guests loved it too. Like, it was never a dull moment at Chili's Hijo Pass or anywhere, you know? Like,
Yeah, no. There was some crazy shit that would always go down in the restaurant industry. I think we all lived a lot of crazy times. But I mean, we
mhm.
make a lot of good friends too. Like I met so many great people in the restaurant industry. Like friends that I'll take to the rest of my life that are there. Like even like the partnerships that I created now, like people that I'm working like EJ, like for instance, like 2 years that I spent with that guy,
Of
and
course.
he's been such a good person to me. You know what I mean?
We definitely do meet a ton of people that are going to be like lifelong friends of ours, but that's also why I want to do this podcast. And the reason behind it was to kind of create a community bigger than our four walls in a restaurant and kind of, there's an insane amount of people that have been in our shoes all around the world. And if we can come together and build a community of these people, like it's honestly like sky's the limit.
You're on something great right now. I think you guys are doing really, really, really good. I think
Oh,
as you
thank
go,
You guys, it's Cassie.
well, yeah,
I'm just here to.
but I'm spending time with both of you guys right now. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
It's good to have adult conversations with adult
no,
people
I
that
really think like
know.
our life in this world, it's never nobody cares, nobody hears it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Managers or
Mm-hmm.
bartenders or servers, like all the crazy things that we go through. It's nice to
Yeah.
like at least vent some of them out. I would not say everything that I've been through because then like that would put me in some bad positions. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah. I think like anyone.
I've done some crazy shit through my time. But yeah, this is like honestly, I really think it's cool. Like it's badass. Like I think I could do something like this one day and sit and just talk to
Yes.
all the old staff that I had and like talk about memories and shit, like things that you go through on a Friday, Saturday night, like getting your ass kicked doing $30,000 and then walking away from it, to do it all over again the next day.
As crazy as it sounds, I
But
loved those days. Like I loved getting to walk away at the end of the night from a $30,000 day, and like get looking back and thinking like I fucking ran a shift like this. Like it's the best feeling in the world as a manager,
bro,
as a young
I've
manager at
lived
least.
some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's definitely this is definitely fun. I was really nervous coming onto it, and I know that Cassie was talking about that this is her 10th one. I think she was. And you were gonna say something about it.
This is actually, by the time this is coming out, it's going to be our 11th episode. So it's kind of insane. I spoke a little bit about the statistics on our last episode, and I'm just so proud of ourselves. I think that we have, like you said, a really good thing going. And cheers to like another, 200, 2000. And so we think that this is going to be something that we do for the long haul. And I think that once we just kind of gain traction, obviously we are a very small podcast. And I thank each and every single one of the listeners that, set aside an hour and a half, to listen to us kind of just ramble about some crazy stuff, whether you relate or you don't relate. But it's been a great ride so far. And I'm just so proud of where, me and Manny have taken this podcast and having people like you kind of join us and just share your story and just give us the time to kind of just share a little piece of your life. We are so thankful for that, and like you said, it's going to be a good thing, and we're not going to stop. We hope to have many more episodes come your way, and yeah, I'm just so thankful for you guys.
I look forward to hearing about the journeys, and hearing if I don't know if you're gonna have Mauer on there more often, but
Yeah, we are.
but
You would not have Mauer on there because Mauer is just a talkative person.
yeah,
Yeah.
you sidetrack a lot. I mean, I think even being on a podcast though, like as you're going through and learning, like there's so many things that are gonna prevent you from being on track. Like I mean, especially when we have history like we do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you were
Mm-hmm.
interviewing a famous person or whatever, then it's kind of like hard not to stay on track because you don't know shit about them. But
And you
we
want
all
to
have
ask
history.
everything.
Yeah, we all have history, and
Mm-hmm.
we haven't seen each other in a minute. You know what I mean? Like I haven't seen you, Jess, since the last time when you were living in New Pass and we were working out and drinking fucking what is that shit? That Herbalife bullshit.
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, we were on that diet.
And I haven't seen Cassie since. God, I mean, when was the last time I saw Cassie at Bubba's?
Yeah, Bubba's right before I had the baby.
Yeah, when you came with your husband, and
Yeah.
but yeah, so I think it's like the reconnection part is fun, you know.
Yeah, you have a lot to talk about, so it's fun. I mean, that's the beauty of it. Like, I've been in the restaurant industry, where I was for about 11 years, and the fact that I achieved everything that I did, like, I'm so proud of myself. Like, I truly, truly am.
I told you when I pulled you to the side, like you said, you know, where you saw yourself. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you still have potential to go back one day and become an area director. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
I
Jess
think
asked me that. Yeah.
that's my goal. Like my goal is to be an area director.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah, cool. I think you should invite EJ on here.
I'd love to. I'd love to, because he had a similar, like, um
We all had a similar upcoming, you know.
yeah, like, he had a similar situation, like, with his wife now, like, with me and Manny. Like, you can't
Yeah.
help who you fall in love with.
He met her in Laredo.
Yeah, so I think they have a really beautiful story. Okay, well, it's been a nice shift with you guys. I'm so happy that you guys took the time to spend 3 hours with us. But
We literally worked the lunch shift together.
we did.
Yeah.
We really did.
Wow, that was crazy going down. Gosh, did you feel that freaking what is it when too many people come in? That rush?
That rush? Yeah,
Oh
no.
my god.
Okay, well, on that note,
Norby.
go win some money at the casino.
I know I will. I'll call y'all
Okay.
later.
And
Y'all be
share
safe.
your finances with us if you win
Yes.
hard. All right, ho.
All right, hoes.
Have a good night.
I'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Well, that does it. We hope you have a great rest of your Monday and an even better week.
If you work today, I hope it's not dreadful and slow and drags on. I hope it goes by quickly and seamlessness. And most important of all, that you make a lot of money.
It's Money Monday after all.
Or so they say.
You guys know the drill. Make sure you're doing all the podcast things like, share, comment, subscribe. Send this episode to somebody that you love, especially if they are a fellow chili head or if you personally know us. If any of our listeners today are joining us because of Norby, then welcome, and we hope you kind of stick around. We have so many more milestones to reach, and we hope we get to do that alongside with all of you guys. So make sure you're following us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on Threads. We are so excited to have you guys here, and like I said, just kind of stick around for the journey. It's going to be a good one.
It definitely will.
But that being said, we're kind of ready to clock out, right, babe?
Definitely.
We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And don't forget to clock out.
We'll see you next week, foodies.